Hey everybody, I'm AJ, and today we're counting down my top 10 Nicolas Cage films. Few actors in Hollywood have a career like Cage. A career defined by chaos, rage, and a complete emotional honesty. He's the kind of actor who can go from art house minimalism to full-blown operatic madness, and sometimes in the same scene. Before we dive into the list, I got a few special mentions to films that didn't quite make the cut but deserve a nod. Lord of War, a chilling anti-war statement and one of Cage's most restrained roles. He turns moral corruption into something eerily calm. Matchstick Men, Ridley Scott's slick, tender con movie with Cage showing the most neurotic, heartfelt side. The Surfer, one of his recent oddities, bizarre, haunting, and absolutely unique. It's the kind of film that only Cage could make watchable. And of course, Snake Eyes, which has one of the most famous long takes for a single camera in cinematic history. Alright, let's get into it. My number 10, Raising Arizona from 1987. Directed by the Coen brothers, Raising Arizona is the perfect blend of absurd comedy and heartfelt chaos. Cage plays H.I., a small-time crook who kidnaps a baby with his wife after finding out they can't have children. This is peak early Cage, all wild hair, twitchy energy, and that distinctively offbeat rhythm. He nails the Coen's surreal tone, where every line sounds like pure southern slang. It's silly but never stupid. The film reminds us that Cage's acting has always been more than just a meme. It's timing, precision, and total commitment to character. Number 9, Mandy, 2018. If Raising Arizona is chaos through comedy, Mandy is chaos through agony. Directed by Panos, this film is a heavy metal fever dream, a revenge story painted in neon and blood. Cage plays Red Miller, a man whose peaceful life is shattered when a cult destroys everything he loves. What follows is grief turned to fire, a slow, surreal descent into hell. The now famous bathroom scene where Cage downs a bottle of vodka and screams through his pain has become a meme, but with context, it's generally devastating. Mandy isn't about overacting, it's about emotional extremes. Panos builds a world that feels more like a nightmare than a narrative, and Cage meets it, giving one of the rawest, most unfiltered performances of his career. Number 8, The Weatherman, from 2005. The Weatherman might be Cage's most quietly heartbreaking film. Directed by Gore Verbinski, it tells the story of a local TV weatherman whose career is on the rise, even as his personal life is falling apart. There's no yelling here, no Cage freakout. Instead, he gives us something small and deeply human. A man realizing that success means nothing if you failed at everything else. The film captures that lonely, middle-aged life perfectly, where people measure their worth by how they appear on screen. In a world obsessed with attention, The Weatherman feels more relevant than ever, a reminder that the spotlight doesn't always bring warmth. I highly recommend that film if you haven't seen it. It's an underrated classic. Number 7, Dream Scenario from 2023. Produced by A24, Dream Scenario is one of Cage's smartest late career performances. He plays Paul Matthews, a mild-mannered professor who inexplicably starts appearing in everyone's dreams. At first, he's a harmless curiosity, but as the dreams turn dark, his life collapses. What starts as fame morphs into fear, a satire on virtual culture, cancel culture, and the absurdity of public identity. And Cage plays it perfectly, awkward, confused, and deeply human. It's the kind of performance that reminds you he's not just a wild actor, he's an observant one. Dream Scenario turns anxiety into art, and Cage anchors it with empathy. Number 6, Joe, from 2013. Directed by David Gordon Green, Joe is underseen Southern tragedy that deserves far more love. Cage plays Joe Ransom, an ex-con trying to live quietly while mentoring a young boy played by Ty Sheridan. This is Cage stripped down. No gimmicks, no mania, just raw emotion. Joe is a man who wants to be good, but can't seem to outrun the violence of his own nature. It's a quiet, textured performance that proves Cage can say more with silence than most actors can with a monologue. And Joe fits alongside George Washington in Undertow as part of Green's haunting look at modern South, all decay, redemption, and broken masculinity. If you haven't checked out David Gordon Green's other Southern films, you really need to. Number 5, Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans, 2009. When Werner Herzog and Nicolas Cage team up, you know something special and strange is gonna happen. Bad Lieutenant is one of the most chaotic, surreal, and darkly funny cop dramas ever made. Cage plays Terrence McDowell, a corrupt New Orleans detective, spiraling into moral and physical decay. What makes it unforgettable? One second it's absurd, and the next it's deeply tragic. Cage commits to every moment with a kind of feverish intensity that only he can pull off. The razor scene alone is a masterclass in unhinged brilliance. Let's not forget the stellar cast including Val Kilmer, Eva Mendes, and even special appearances by Michael Shannon. It's a great film. It also was filmed right after Hurricane Maria in New Orleans, so you really feel the rawness of that story and the intent. Number 4, Adaptation, 2002. Charlie Kaufman's Adaptation is one of the most daring screenplays ever written, and Cage rises to meet it. He plays twin brothers, Charlie and Donald Kaufman, one a neurotic, self-doubting writer, the other a carefree optimist. It's meta, it's funny, and it's deeply sad, and it's a perfect showcase of Cage's vulnerability. He shifts effortlessly between two performances that could be more difficult, giving each character a distinct rhythm and vulnerability. Few actors could make this work, but Cage turns into a portrait of creative self-destruction and ultimately self-acceptance. Number 3, Leaving Las Vegas from 1995. This is Cage at his most human and his most broken. He plays Ben Sanderson, an alcoholic screenwriter who moves to Las Vegas to drink himself to death. There, he meets Sarah, a sex worker, played by the beautiful Elizabeth Shue, and together they form a fragile, doomed connection. There's no glamour, no redemption, just two people finding brief grace in the middle of destruction. Cage won the Oscar for this role, but the performance transcends awards. It's raw, fearless, and painful, and the kind of work that stays with you long after the movie ends. And my number 2, Bringing Out the Dead, 1999. Directed by Martin Scorsese and written by Paul Schrader, Bringing Out the Dead is a haunting descent into burnout. Cage plays Frank Pierce, a paramedic haunted by the lives he couldn't save, drifting through New York's neon-lit nights like a ghost. It's darkly funny and deeply tragic, a story about compassion collapsing under the weight of exhaustion. Scorsese shoots it like a fever dream, fast, frantic, and spiritual, and Cage gives one of his most understated performances. You could feel the fragileness in his eyes. It's a criminally underrated film that captures the line between salvation and madness, and Cage walks it perfectly, and that's why you have to see it. Number 1, Pig, 2021. Maybe a surprise to some of you. Pig is Nicolas Cage distilled to his purest form. All soul, no spectacle. He plays Rob, a reclusive chef living in the Oregon wilderness whose truffle pig is stolen. What could have been a revenge thriller turns into a meditation on grief, artistry, and love. Cage delivers a performance of total restraint, gentle, poetic, and utterly heartbreaking. Every scene feels lived in. It's a film about things we create, the people we lose, and how memory becomes the only home we have left. If you've ever doubted Cage's ability as a serious actor, Pig is the answer. It's not just his best performance, it's one of the best performances of the decade. Nicolas Cage isn't consistent, but that's the point. He's fearless, curious, and absolutely devoted to the craft of acting. He'll take risks, others won't. And sometimes that's where the real art happens. Thanks for watching. I'm AJ. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And tell me your favorite Nicolas Cage films in the comments. Because love him, mock him, Nicolas Cage is cinema. Don't forget to check out our film Transient, now streaming on all platforms. For fans of psychological horror and sci-fi elements, Transient is fantastic. Check it out. We'd love your support. If you like podcasts, check out some of my podcasts. Bad Movie Night is a weekly podcast where we get together and watch terrible movies. It's on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. Also, if you want something more raw, check out my other podcast, Self-Identities, Conversations with Convicted Women. We go into maximum security prisons and have real raw conversations with women facing life sentences. It's very heavy, very raw and very intense, but I think it's really great stuff. So check it out if you have some time. I'm AJ. Take care.